Here in this video live session, what I'll going to do, if you already learned Python, so next what we can do, that's a very big thing after learning Python. So I'll show you what we can able to do after that. We can able to implement backend development. There is a many thing using Python we can do. So right now what I'm going to do, I have experience with the Django backend development that I'll going to show how we can create project in Python. That will I'll explain, and with the help of ChatGPT. So ChatGPT will suggesting some better uh, suggestion that we can check it once. First, what I'll going to do, what is backend development that I'm searching here. ChatGPT generated some content. After learning Python, you can work on many backend development roles. Python is one of the strongest backend language today, and it opens doors to both jobs and real world projects. Web backend developer, you build the server side logic of website and web apps. It means we can able to create apps using Django with the help of backend. We can able to create the web application. So I'll going to show that after this. What you do, there is some suggestion: handle request and responses, implement business logic, manage authentication and authorization, connect frontend with database. Popular framework: Django, full stack. This is a full stack development. Django is a full stack development framework, and there is a lightweight framework, Flask, and Fast API, which is the modern high performance API. We can able to create that using Fast API. Also there is a many framework, AI framework. If you are interested, you can go through that also. After learning Python, I am telling. REST API or backend API developer focus purely on APIs, not UI. It means backend developer work is creating API, that all thing, like CRUD operation, create, read, update, delete API. What you built, REST API or JSON API. Authentication system, what is authentication system? Is login, sign up page we can able to create using backend API. API for mobile apps, this is the front end, React, Vue.js. I am familiar with Vue.js, so right now we'll not using Vue.js. I'm just simply using HTML, CSS and JavaScript. Common tools: Django REST framework, Fast API, Flask plus extensions. And there is a databases. In Django there is a default databases SQLite. When we starting project, it will connecting with the SQLite database that I'll show you later when I going to create a project. Here some skills: PostgreSQL, MySQL. These are two different databases. ORM, Django ORM, SQL Alchemy. This is used for Fast API and Flask to connect the database. Database design and optimization, migrations and indexing. Used in e-commerce system, booking systems, and CRM or ERP software. Backend engineer, production level, more advanced backend role, responsibility, performance optimization, caching Redis, background task, salary, logging and monitoring, writing test, PyTest, unit test. Once we done project, it will be coming after that writing test cases and all. Microservices developer, used in large scale systems. What you built: independent backend services, API to API communication, message queues, and tech stack, Fast API or Flask, Docker Compose, RabbitMQ, Kafka. This technology you should know before starting any project, that are how it is working and all. You can search it in your ChatGPT or search it in your Google Chrome. You will get the answer for these technologies. Cloud and DevOps aware backend developer. Cloud is what we are doing when we creating project. We are deploying project on cloud. If you are beginner, first you need to start any project, then remaining will do it later, deployment and all. Right now what I'll do, first I'm creating Django project. How we can create Django project, I'll show you here. With first I'm searching here, create project in Django. So here ChatGPT generated content for creating project. Before starting project, what you can do, open your VS Code editor, or PyCharm. If you don't know what is VS Code and PyCharm, then you can search in your Google Chrome Visual Studio Code. This is the software you need to install for the it's like a editor. You can write code, Python code and any other code also. And PyCharm basically for the running Python project we are using PyCharm. You need to install it based on your local system. Right now I'm using Mac OS, so already I installed. Right now not installing. And PyCharm This is the PyCharm software that you need to install. Where it is? This one icon. Okay. PyCharm ID. Okay. This one you need to download. If you are using Windows, then download for the Windows. If you are using Mac OS, then you can use Mac OS version for your system based on the requirement. Right now I am using here VS Code editor. I am clearing these files which I already created, closing this terminal also, and opening new terminal. When we creating project, what we need to do first, we need to create one virtual environment. What is virtual environment? Virtual environment means if you're creating any project, on that time there is a many dependency in Python. So based on dependency, we can write a create a virtual environment and store the dependencies. Dependency purpose we are using virtual environment. If we not creating virtual environment, and here we are installing the libraries, modules, that all thing installing globally, which will be problem for the project deployment. Like this, I'll show you. pip3 list. Here we can see there is a many thing I already installed in my local system. This all thing not needed for my project, but it is already installed. In that case, what we can do, if we not needed this thing, we need to create a virtual environment. How to create virtual environment? Python 3 -m virtual env. This is the name. Base is a name here, and here created virtual environment, and I'm going to activate. If you're using Windows, then Windows there is a different command to activate. Like this we can able to activate virtual environment, and here we can able to install dependency based on our requirement for the project. Right now here in the ChatGPT I typed like this: create project in Django, provide code. Then ChatGPT given me some code structure, and there is a code, so I am using this. How I am going to use, you just follow it and you will understand how you can create project in Django. And Django Backend project, employee management system. Right now this one I think I am going to implement here. This is the project structure. Here you can see this is the folder name, employee project. Okay, this is the project name, and here when we creating project it will comes automatically. I'll show you that. And this is the app name. Create a project and app commands. These are the commands which we need to enter in our terminal. Right now I am going to start from here. First command, Django admin start project employee project. Here I am running that command, and here you can see in the left side there is a project with files. It created automatically. Next, I'm going inside the project directory. Here I am creating the app name employee. What happened here? Django is not installed. Okay. If you get error like this, what you can do? pip3 install Django REST framework. Now Django got installed. Here how we can check that? pip3 list. Here we can see Django and Django REST framework already present. Right now we can able to use that. This is the command which we can create a app. Here you can see there's a app, and these all are the files get created automatically. Next step, one second. Here now I created a project and app. Next step, in the settings.py we need to add app name. Inside installed app, here we need to add app name. My app name is employee. Here you can see. First we need to configure this. Models.py file. Inside we need to write a code. This is the class. I'll explain this. Inside models.py, control E, control V. This is the model class which we'll consider as a database table in Django. This is the field which is name character field, department character field, and joiner date field. Python it is considered as a database table. Employee is the table name, and in Django there is a default database which we connecting when we creating project. Here you can see SQLite 3. If we not adding external database, then it will taking SQLite 3. Here settings.py, you can check this. When you create project, then you can start. You will get this. Next, apply migrations. Once you create this model class, you need to run this command, migration command. and migrate. Here applied all migrations. Here you can see migration file. It will generate automatically when we apply migrations. Then next, admin.py. Here you can see that from .models import employee. What here happen is, in the models.py we created a class employee. This class imported inside admin.py. Here you can see, and here register admin like this, admin.site.register. There is another way. I'll show you. Class employee admin. Here we need to declare fields. In the models.py there is a fields name, here name, department, and joiner date. Admin.register employee. I'm commenting this line and keeping this one. Then next, this code is not necessary. Basically, if you are not login with the admin panel, then these things are not needed. And views.py. Here I'm going to paste that code, views.py. From .models import employee. This employee class imported inside views.py, and this is a function based view, employee list, and here employee.objects.all.values. This is the query set which we get the employees, and here we passing that employee. Instead of this, what I'll do, right now I'm commenting this. Home.html. I created this function right now. What we need to do when we creating any function, first we need to add urls.py. Inside urls.py, right now here you can see this is the project, employee project, and there is a urls.py file. here also we need to make some changes. Include my app name is employee. Here employee dot urls. Right now inside my employee app there is no file present, so here what we need to do, first we need to create a file, urls.py, and I'm just copying this code and this line is not needed, I'm removing, and this is also not required here right now. After this, what we need to do here, in the views.py I created a function name home. First we need to import that file from dot views. Import home. Home is a function which is present inside views.py. Instead of that, what I'll do, from dot views, okay, views dot home. This is the URL path where we can access this data. So for that I'm here giving something. If we're not adding any path like this, it will take port 8000. There's one thing missing here in the views.py. I written this function but I did not created file home.html. It will give error. For that what I need to do, first inside my employee app I need to create new directory templates. Inside templates directory we need to create a file name home.html. Here I created and I am adding some dummy data. Welcome to Django. Here I added path and here I created function. This is the model class. I made changes in 3 files, this one and views.py and urls.py, and main urls.py. Here I added this thing, include and this URL path, and settings.py what I added, this one. Right now I'm going to run this project. Using command python manage.py run server. This is the command to run Django project. I'm just running this and checking. Here giving error, so here I did some mistake. Right now you can see I removed that. What I done, I called here home function. we no need to call like that. I'm just browsing this port 8000 and our URL path is this one slash home. 1 second. Here you can see the output. Welcome to Django. This is what I written inside my home.html, which is displaying right now. This is the way to create Django project. If anyone facing any issue in creating project, you can comment there. I'll help you. If anyone trying to do the Django project and you are getting error, so what I'll do next, here ChatGPT given some code that I'm using right now. Instead of that, what I'll do, creating CRUD operation project in Django. For that, what I'll do first, what I'll do first, using REST API, that will be the better way. But if you are beginner, you need to start Django. Django is not needed basically. When you're doing project, there is a API development we are doing, right? In that time backend we are need to implement API with the REST framework. Basically I am concentrating on REST API right now. How to create REST API? There is a different way to create REST APIs. CRUD operations with REST API. So ChatGPT will generating the code here, and same thing I'm going to follow. This REST framework already installed and project also created. Instead of that, I'll do from the starting point of this project, Control A, and deleting this all. Deleting this terminal also, opening new terminal, creating virtual environment first. Then activating the virtual environment. Here you can see virtual environment got activated. Just follow this thing and we can able to implement this project. Which one? CRUD project. I'm copying this and entering here. Will install Django REST framework. Here got installed. Next, creating project. This is the command to create project. Here you can see the project got created and there is a files. Next, I am going inside the project directory. Right now I am outside the project directory. Here you can see this is the folder name. when I use cd and project name, right now here you can see I'm inside the project directory right now, and here I'm creating the app name employee. So app is created. Here you can see employee app is created, and there is a automatic files also generated. Next, what we need to do, first we need to make the setup for the project. After creating project, go to settings.py and here installed app, add REST framework. If you are creating REST API, you need to add this. And my app name is employee here, so I'm giving app name employee. And also you need to go inside urls.py here, add new path, employee.urls. Here I am giving API. In models.py, here I am creating class name employee. This is the employee class. This will be considered as a database table in Python. Like a database, it will thinking as a table, and these are the fields: name, department, salary, created date, and this is the character field. Department also character field, salary is decimal field, and created date time field. Then applying migrations. Here I am not using external database like Postgre and MySQL. Instead of that, I am using right now SQLite. Here you can see, which is default database. Here applying migrations. No module named employee.urls. Inside employee, this is my app name. There is no file present urls.py, so I need to create first urls.py, and I'm just commenting this line for now and running same command. Here applied migrations, then run command migrate. Then another file serializers.py. Inside employee app, we need to create a file serializers.py. Basically what it will do, it will convert the data JSON format, serializers.py. So this is the code. I am just copying this. Here you can see from line 2, from dot models import employee, which is the models.py table class. Here we imported, and here we use it like this. This is the serializer class, employee serializer. Like this we need to write a serializer. Next, here also declared whatever fields present in our model class here displayed like all. Instead of all, we can declare whatever we want, like name, department, salary, created at. This also we can able to write here if we need some fields only. Here written all means every field will be taken. Then next, in the views.py, here using view set control C. Okay, here I'm going to create view set API. There's a different way we can able to create a API view and generic API using we can able to create a CRUD operation, but here what I'm going to do is the view set CRUD operation we are going to create right now, because this is the less code we can able to create a APIs. Here imported employee class and also importing serializer class, which I just written here, this one here got imported, and this is the class which will generate CRUD operation, create, read, update and delete. So next, here query set employee dot objects dot all. It means all employee present in the database will storing inside query set. And serializer, what will do, it will convert the data to JSON format. So next, what we need to do, add a urls.py. I'm copying this urls.py and just pasting here. This is the urls.py file inside employee app. Okay, and there is another file inside project urls.py. This is the different and this one is different. In the employee urls.py, I imported this one from REST framework.routers, import default router, and here registered router. This is the path we can able to access the all API, create, read, update and delete. Next, I commented here one line that I need to uncomment, and going to run server. Here you can see the port 8000. I'm just clicking that server and here giving the path. How we added path I'll show you. In the urls.py, project urls.py, I added API, copying this and entering here. After that, in my employee app, I added path like this, and here I'm entering and enter. Here you can see the API. This is the get API, which is showing output empty because there is no employee present in database. This is the API path, and this is a creating employee. This is the post API. I'm going to create one employee, giving name test, department CS, salary 20,000, and post. Here you can see the output, and this is the post API got hit, and this is the output which is employee created. When I enter this, here you can see get API got called here. And next what I'll do, edit and delete. Before edit and delete, I'll create another employee, test2. Here you can see post API, and this employee got created. Now you can see there is a 2 employee present in our get API. So what I'll do, I'm going to update one employee, which is this one. Here ID is 2. I'm giving the ID 2 here and enter. Here you can see the data updating employee. Right now I'm changing this to 3 and enter put. Here you can see path put, and here got updated employee test3. And once again I'll do calling this get API. Here you can see the response. There's a 2 employee present already inside my get API. So what I'll do, I'm going to delete this employee, second one. Here ID is 2. Okay, ID is 2. Enter. Here there is an option to delete employee. So when I click this option, you are getting pop-up. Are you sure you want to delete this employee instance? Then delete. It will get deleted. Here you can see the API path. And when I going to re-enter, here will display message no employee matches the given query. It means this employee not present, it got deleted. Here you can see only one employee present. Here we created APIs using ViewSet. Instead of that, what I'm going to do, with a different method, going to create a CRUD operations. Here you can see I got the out like ChatGPT given the content that. So what I'm going to do, just this thing already I have done and created project, and also app also already there in the models.py. This code is already present. Next, this is I need to write inside my views.py. these two lines are needed here, and this is the code for get and post API. This is the get API, this is a post API. If we writing API with the help of API view, we can get more control over the APIs. Here get API, here fetching all the employees with the help of query set. And here serializer, what will do, it will convert the data to JSON. Here we will providing the response serializer.data. This is the get API. Also there is another way. Here I'll show you clear. Here you can open shell also. Python 3 manage.py shell. Here we can test our queries. Where it is? From employee.models import employee. emp, I'm creating one variable and here storing the employee data. employee.objects.all. Here you can see one object is present. It means one data is present. Check dot values. This is the user data which is present inside employee table. This is the query which I shown in my terminal shell. This is the query set. This is a post API. Post API we need to write like this, and request.data which is coming from the front end. In the API body we are providing this request.data, and in this line it is validating. If data is valid with the serializer, then it will going to save the data and creating the employee. And if there is our data provided in the body, request.body will be different, it means it will give error, then it will giving error serializers dot error. 400 error will be showing in our response. This is the code. I'm just copying and will explain. In above code, I created two API, get and post API. Get for listing all employee, post for creating new employee. This is the two APIs. Then next, in the second class, employee detailed API, here created one get API which is getting single employee, and another API put API. Put API used for the updating the employee. This is the API, and there is another API patch API. Patch API also used for updating the employee data. There is a what is the difference between put and patch API? When we updating employee with the entire employee table, on that time we are using put API. If we going to upload like update partial data of the employee, on that time using patch API. And this is the delete API. This API we can, using this API we can able to delete the employee. Here you can see simple code is present. You can understand if you already know about the Python. There is no much logic used here. This is the simple logic got implemented. Here you can see created one method get object. First here extracted the employee data with the ID, retrieved employee ID, and here will what will happen, inside this will generating the employee data for single employee, which ID we are providing in the API. If this ID not present will give the error employee not found, and if there is already present employee will print serializer.data here in the get API. And this is the put API. Here we are getting the employee detail inside this. If not employee, if not present employee, employee not found in the put API. And this is the status code. If there is any error like this, it will show this one, this error. And here validating with the serializer. This is the employee data here passing, and this is the data which is request.data which is passed from the UI side like this. I'll show you. Right now my server is off, so I'm going to run that server first. Here you can see this is the put API, which is data passing inside our body, API body. This data will storing inside data request.data. This is the data, and once this data will coming inside serializer, it will validate, it will checking data everything is proper or not. If data is something missing, then it will give the error serializer.error and printing the status code 400 bad request. If data is valid, which is updated from the API, this one, then it will going to save the data. Same thing for the patch API. It will just like here there's a full data got updated, right? Instead of that, here only one field, two field we can able to update using patch API. and delete API, what will happen? Going to delete the employee. Here getting the employee with the ID. If employee not present, it will give the error employee not found, and this is the status code 404. And here employee got deleted if employee present inside this, and this is the message will displaying inside response employee deleted, and this is the status code 204. So this all thing done. Right now what I'll do, I'm commenting this code which is created APIs using viewsert. Instead of that, right now I'm using API view. This is the different method and this is a different method. Here urls.py file, I'm copying this code and just printing here. Employee detailed API view. It is giving error because I did not save this file. Right now I'm going to save Control S, Command S, and it got saved. Now my URL path is this one and this one. This is for the get API and post API. This is the URL path, and this is for the update, delete and get single employee detail. This is the API. So what I'm going to do, how we can test that API? We can test from here also, but instead of that, better way we can use Postman. That is the tool that we can test API. Postman, this is the Postman software. I'm going to open. Here we need to give the API path. So I'm just copying this code, URL path, and entering here. This is the get API. Here you can see get API. I'm entering, and right now here displaying the response, which is one employee present in our employee database table. Next, what I'm going to do, here get API, you can see here we need to pass data in the format of JSON. This is the body. To create a new employee, here I am giving name test2, and is the department salary and created at. This also not needed here, it will generate automatically when I'm. This is for updating. 1 second. Control A, Control C. Enter. Right now here I'm going to create a new employee. Entering post, there is some error. Illegal training comma before end of the object. This comma is not required, I think. Yes, here you can see employee got created with the ID 3. Here you can see there is a two employee present in our database table. In the Postman, same thing. Here you can see the response. to employee present. Then next, updating the employee. Here you can see put or patch method. Put method used for updating entire employee detail. Patch method used for partial update. So what I'm going to do, I'm just copying this. Here what I'll do, removing these fields and I'm making this 10. Okay, here you can see employee name is test and here salary is 2000. I'm going to update with the 10,000 and I'm removing this. Here we need to use method patch because I'm going to update only one field, which is salary. This is the method patch. It got updated here, you can see here. And if you want to update entire employee, then we need to use put method. So I'm going to change this to 20,000 right now. If we not adding entire field, will give error. Right now I added these 3 fields: name, department, salary, and using method put. So here got updated. Here we created the APIs with the 2 different methods, view set and API view. And another, there is a method we can able to create a REST APIs. So on that method also I'm going to create and show you how we can able to create a REST API. Using generic API, create CRUD operations. Right now this project is already there and app also already present, and this configuration also done, and we have model class, serializer class, and this is the part we need to implement. Generic API. What I'm going to do, I'm just copying this. This is the generic API which is I imported here, and this is the get API and post API using generic API. There's also I imported mixins: list model mixin, create model mixin, retrieve model mixin, update model mixin, destroy model mixin. Here create and list model mixin used inside this class. This get and post API. This get API and this is the post API. Using generic API, we can easily create a CRUD operation. This is the get API, put API, patch API, and delete API. I'm just commenting this code, only keeping generic API. Also, we need to map this URL with the this is the URL, which is same one. I think I'm just copying this URL and pasting inside urls.py. This is the third method we can able to create CRUD APIs. Here you can see the get API got called, and here there is a two employee present. This is the get API, and here there is a creating new API, new employee. This is this one, post API. Here got created new employee, and here I'm giving ID 1. This is the put API. I'm going to update with test name to test4. Enter. Here you can see updated the employee test4, and I am going to delete this test4 by here you can see employee got deleted. This is the URL path. If I search this employee, will give error. No employee matches the given query. This is a different way we can able to create a REST APIs. Next, what I'm going to do here, I just implemented REST APIs. Then next, I'll add some UI part to this, like integrating API with the front end. For that, what I'll do, we need to write a HTML code for that. Okay, next I'm going to create a HTML code for that. Provide HTML code to display table. Here ChatGPT will give the HTML code employee.html file name. Same thing I'm going to add here. Okay. Here creating one directory templates. This is the function code which will display this HTML file. Here you can see employee.html. Instead of that, what I'm going to do, call all APIs. Next we need to install this course headers. When we going to integrate API with the front end, we need to install this course headers, and we need to add inside settings.py installed app. Middleware. This is very important when we integrate API with the front end. It should be true. Here you can see employee data. Here when we refresh this page, we'll see the API. This is the get API which is called and with the response. This is the get API. When we adding something, test, save employee. Here post, this is the get API and this is the response. Also there is a edit and delete API which is put and delete. I'm changing it to CS. This one is smaller letter. Right now I'm changing to capital letter. Here you can see updated, and also delete API will delete the employee data. This is how we can create project in Django with the help of REST API.